6 photos. All I could find after scouring the internet to look for photos made on this lens were 6 photos. So I'm here to give you one more very special 7th photo, and here it is. Okay, obviously I'm kidding. I'm going to give you a whole bank of photos, which I'll just talk over so that you can enjoy those, all of them being made on this very special, very rare Fujinon EBC 16mm f2.8 M42 mount fisheye lens made in the 1970s. And you can think of this as less of a gear review video, more of me just gushing about this really special lens that I've been eyeing for literally a year. And also I have literally 0 prior experience with a fisheye lens, so take all of these photos with a grain of salt. My little bud Prince is going to help me out here as well. At the end of the day, the lens isn't rare because it's a super coveted high quality lens. It is high quality, but it's rare because apparently Fujinon didn't make very many of them. Just look on eBay. I saw maybe 5 of these lenses sell at all in the past year. I saw maybe 5 of these lenses sell at all in the past year on eBay, which is an insanely low amount for any kind of lens. I usually only see that with rare large format lenses. I bought mine for $450. Now I've been eyeing this for almost a year and finally went for it as a little reward for landing a full-time job that I actually really love. And the reason why I was eyeing this fisheye lens is because about a year ago, I got to try out a Canon FD 15mm fisheye at Central Camera right here in Chicago, and it totally tickled my brain. That Canon lens has built-in filters, and seeing the 180-degree view through the mirror of an SLR was surreal. By the way, that lens was previously owned by a fellow Chicagoan, Cameron DePue, aka Street Files, right here on YouTube. He's got some really awesome walk-around type of street photography videos. I'll link to him in the description of this video. But I knew I had to have an SLR fisheye lens, and this Fujinon fits on my SLR, the Fujica ST801. Now, what makes Fujinon's M42 mount lenses slightly different is this little notch here. You see that? That allows for open aperture metering on Fujica's ST line of SLRs. A lot of people who buy these Fujinon lenses for non-Fujica SLRs will shave off that notch so that it'll fit correctly. I was really glad that I was able to get this lens, being as rare as it is, where it still had the notch so that I could actually still use it on my ST801 if I want to. In terms of pure looks, I mean, I already love the look of the standard 55mm lens on my ST801, but look at how gorgeous the fisheye looks on it. It's huge. And honestly, it looks great adapted on my Sony a7C too. So here are some specs about the lens. It weighs 425 grams, which is almost 1 full pound. And for a lens of this size, that's insane. And it feels that way. Very dense, but also pretty nice. Like, it feels really well built. It has 4 built-in filters. I think this is the coolest thing in the world. Again, the first time I experienced this was with the Canon FD 15mm lens. Now I know there's a yellow and orange filter, the orange one being especially great for black and white photography, but I don't really know what the 2 daylight ones are exactly. One of those daylight filters is unfortunately foggy too, but I don't think I would have used it even if it wasn't foggy, so it's fine. Its aperture goes from f2.8 down to f22. Minimum focusing distance is about 10 inches, which is really close for a fisheye lens. It has a 180-degree view, which fills a full frame sensor, and that's what we call a diagonal fisheye lens as opposed to the circular ones which look like this. So it can be very easily adapted to a full frame digital camera. As a matter of fact, all of these photos you're seeing here were shot digitally. This lens also has Fuji's coveted EBC coating, which helps with lens flare, sharpness, and contrast. I'll put a link in the description for a comparison of non-EBC Fuji glass versus their EBC glass. That way you can see what it actually does. In actual use, the photos are surprisingly sharp, even shooting with the aperture wide open. Stopping down to even f5.6 can give you basically the entire photo in focus. At f5.6, you can get literally everything from 3 feet to infinity in focus, which again, if you're doing like landscapes or street photography, that's basically going to be everything. Now, what I didn't realize before getting a fisheye, and again, this is the first fisheye I've ever owned, is how similar it is to the true human eyesight. We see 180 degrees, actually a little bit more, and obviously our brains can't focus on our peripheral if we're looking this way. You can still see them, but it's quite human-like to see images shot on a fisheye, in my opinion. Now, like I said, this isn't necessarily a gear review video where I'm like, should you buy this lens? It's more like, here are the specs, and me just being really pumped to have gotten this lens after eyeing it for a year. As a matter of fact, if you do want a fisheye lens, I would say get a brand new one. You'll get autofocus, modern coatings, and you don't really need built-in filters. And even for me, need is a strong word for this lens. Want is a better one. I wanted this lens so bad. I just wanted to be able to take high quality, funny looking photos with my friends, and occasionally to be able to use flash to take highly stylized kind of editorial fashion-esque type photos, but I don't do that too often. I could have done that with any fisheye lens, but I wanted the one that I could also fit to my Fujica ST801. I'm honored to have given you the 7th through whatever number photo on the internet made using this lens at all. And if you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe, but regardless, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Say bye, Prince. Okay.